Asante sana. Waheshimiwa wote na viongozi, brothers and sisters, good afternoon. Asanteni sana kwa kufika tena kwa wingi. Sasa hii ni Kiambu. Wow. Ati bado. Asante sana. Wacha nichukue nafasi hii kuwakaribisha katika makao rasmi ya naibu wa rais wa Kenya. Niseme ya kwamba kwa sababu mimi ndio nilikuwa nimeongea na viongozi wenu na tukakubaliana niwaite, nichukue nafasi hii kuwaeleza sababu ya mkutano, na nitachukua muda kidogo ndio tuelewane vile tunaenda pamoja. Baada ya hapo tutawaelekeza vile tutaendelea ili tuhakikishe kwamba siku ya leo kila mtu ako na nafasi ya kuchangia katika agenda ya maendeleo ya Kiambu County. So we are here to make sure that today, as many as we are, we will try and make sure that all of us have some role to play in agreeing and building the agenda, the development agenda for our county of Kiambu. So karibuni sana, na mjisikie nyumbani. Wakati tutamaliza mkutano, msiwe na haraka kuondoka, mkaekae hapa, mchukue selfie, mkaekae area. Kwa sababu leo ni siku ya Kiambu. Leo kana tewo. Umuthi ni muthenya wa wa Kiambu. Niseme ya kwamba mkutano huu tumeitana leo kwa sababu kulingana na manifesto ya chama chetu, chama cha UDA na serikali ambayo sasa inaongoza, manifesto yetu inasema ya kwamba ni lazima tuwe tunazingatia utimizaji wa ahadi ambazo tulitoa wakati tulikuwa tunaomba kura. Wakati rais alikuwa anaomba kura, wengi wenu tulikuwa pamoja. Mnajua ya kwamba katika kila county alitembea na kukubaliana na wananchi wa hiyo county, akichaguliwa yale mambo ataweka kipaumbele. Kweli si kweli? Na kwa ile county economic forums, hapo wananchi na washikadau wakatoa maoni, wakasema rais akichaguliwa, kama ni Kiambu, kuna mambo ya kilimo, mambo ya chai, mambo ya kahawa, mambo ya barabara, mambo ya biashara na mambo mengi ambayo muliambia rais akichaguliwa afanyie watu ya Kiambu. Baada ya hiyo County Economic Forum, hayo matakwa yote yakawekwa katika kitabu ambayo ilikuwa inaitwa County Economic Charter, ambayo ni mkataba kati ya wananchi na rais siku hiyo akiwa anatafuta kiti. Ikasemekana pale kwa manifesto ya kwamba ili kuhakikisha ya kwamba rais akichaguliwa atafuatilia yale mambo, ikaandikwa pale kwa manifesto ya kwamba kila mwaka chama ama serikali sasa iwe na mkutano once a year ya kuuliza katika yale mambo mengi tumesema tutafanya Kiambu, ni yapi tumetimiza, ni yapi bado hatujatimiza, kwa nini haijatimika, tutatimiza lini, na kuelezea wananchi ili serikali na wananchi na viongozi tutembee pamoja with one set of information. Na ikasemekana ya kwamba kila mwaka county zote 47 za Kenya kutakuwa na kikao ya kutathmini hatua ambazo zimepigwa za kimaendeleo za kusaidia ile county kulingana na ile county economic charter ambayo ilikuwa imeandikwa. Na hiyo kazi, jukumu ya kuleta viongozi pamoja na wananchi, viongozi waliochaguliwa, viongozi wa mashinani kama walio hapa, hiyo jukumu ikapewa ofisi ya naibu wa rais. Kwa hivyo, unfortunately for the last 2 years hatujafanya hivyo, but they normally say, wazungu wanasema better late than. Na ndio umeona saa zingine wananchi wengi wamekuwa na maswali kwa sababu hawana habari serikali imefika wapi katika yale mambo ilisema itafanya. Ni kwa sababu hatujafanya katika miaka miwili imepita mkutano wa kutathmini county baada ya county, yale mambo ambayo tumefanya, yale hatujafanya, na kuwaeleza wananchi mipango iliyoko ya kutimiza ahadi zote. Kwa sababu zile ahadi zote zilitolewa. Hakuna ahadi ilitolewa bila dhamira ya kutimiza. Ya pili ni kwamba kutimiza zile ahadi ni katika muda wa miaka 5. Sio katika muda wa wiki moja, sio mwezi moja, sio mwaka mmoja, sio miaka 2. The implementation of the Kenya Kwanza and UDA manifesto is a 5-year project. But as part of good practice of good project management, every year we take stock. What have we done? What has not been done? What has already been done? So, najua watu wengi wanawekea wananchi uchochezi na kuwawekea sumu. Sijui kuna mambo hajafanywa. Ni kweli, there are some things which are yet to be implemented because we are just 2.5 years into the administration. We have another 2.5 years. So, huwezi letewa mtihani wa form 4 ukiwa form 2. Ile mitihani inakuja hapo katikati, ingine inaitwa CAT, ingine inaitwa mock, ingine inaitwa mitihani kidogo kidogo, lakini mtihani wa form 4 unafanywa siku ya mwisho. So this meeting therefore is to try and we get together, and we've done this. I think this is the 7th or 8th county now. We have had a meeting with Taita Taveta, with Kajiado, Tharaka Nithi, Embu, Isiolo, Samburu, and we'll continue for all the counties of Kenya, because this is part of the work of the Deputy President according to her manifesto. So, nimesikia kuna wengine wananifundisha kazi yangu huko nje. Sasa, mimi, the way I understand my work, this is one of my job descriptions. Yua watu wanaelewa mambo tofauti. This is part of the work I am assigned as Deputy President. So, on behalf of the President and the government of Kenya, I want to report to you ya kwamba tumekuwa na wakati mgumu wa kiuchumi tangu 2022 kwa sababu ya vile tulichukua serikali uchumi ukiwa. Na watu wengi wakati wanasikia tukisema uchumi ulikuwa mgumu, wanafikiri tunajaribu kuhujumu aliyekuwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Lakini nataka leo ibainike ya kwamba ile hali tulikuta ya kiuchumi sana sana ilisababishwa na vile uchumi wa Kenya na uchumi wa ulimwengu ulifungwa kwa zaidi ya mwaka 1.5 kwa sababu ya ugonjwa wa COVID-19. Si mnajua uchumi ulifungwa completely across the country for more than a year. Hatukuwa tunafanya biashara zote zikafungwa, hakuna mtu kwenda kazini. You can imagine a shutdown of the economy for a year. The damage is huge. That's why by the time President Ruto was sworn in, everything was going haywire. The price of food was skyrocketing, increasing by the day. The price of fuel was skyrocketing. Inflation, prices were going up. Inflation across the board was going up. Interest rates ya bank ilikuwa inaenda juu. Shilingi ya Kenya ilikuwa very weak. It was weakening every day, if not every hour. And before President Ruto and the government could be able to address the other economic interventions, it was necessary first to rescue the economy of Kenya from collapse. Because if you have high food prices, high fuel prices, high interest rate, a weak currency, unless you make certain interventions to stabilize the economy would go the wrong direction. And therefore, for the last 2 years, President Ruto has worked hard. His administration has worked hard. And that's why today, compared to 2022, certain economic factors are now stable, general factors. And I want to put it clearly. Nataka nieleze ya kwamba mambo ambayo serikali imefanya katika miaka miwili imepita ni mambo ya kudhibitisha uchumi kijumla. Na kwa hivyo ile kazi ambayo imebaki sasa kwenda mbele ni mambo ya kudhibiti uchumi wa wananchi binafsi ama uchumi at household level. That is where we are going now. But it took a lot of work to get the Kenyan shilling strong again. It took a lot of work to get inflation under control. From 9.6% every month to now 3%, 2.7, 2.9. The dollar, which was going for 165 to the shilling, 167, now is stable, 127, 128, 130, for more than a year. The central bank lending rates, which was as high as 15.8% last year, for the 1 year, it is going down. And just yesterday, it went down again from 11.25 to 10.85. So we are witnessing stability, what we call macroeconomic stability. Food prices, unga was 240, 250 for 2 kilogram packet of unga. Now it is 100, 110, 120 for a long time now. Fuel was at 217 per liter. Now it's about 165, 167 again. And it's likely to go down the more. So hii ni 164. 164, and it's likely to go down again. Hii mambo yote imetendeka kwa sababu pesa ile nyingi ya serikali iliwekwa katika kudhibitisha uchumi, macroeconomic stability, because without that hii mambo ingine tungetaka ifanywe haingefanyika. Nipeane tu mfano mmoja. Unajua Kenya haikuwa na chakula ya kutosha. Mahindi ile tulikuwa tunalima haikuwa inatosha, so tulikuwa tunaleta mahindi kutoka ng'ambo. Na ndio umeona bei ya unga ilikuwa juu, kwa sababu mahindi inatoka Brazil, inatoka Zambia. So ndio ifike isiagwe nini mahindi, bei ya unga inakuwa juu. Rais aliwekeza pesa nyingi, sio kupatia millers kama zamani. We used to subsidize millers. Wale wanasiaga wanapewa pesa ndio wapunguze bei, bila kujali ya kwamba mwenye kusiaga sio atateremsha bei. Kuteremsha bei lazima usaidie mkulima, tuwe na mahindi ya kutosha hapa nchini, bei ya unga itateremsha. Ndio umeona rais hiyo pesa ilikuwa inaenda kwa subsidies ya consumption, ikawekwa kwa subsidies ya production. Bei ya mbolea ikashuka from 7,000 to 2,500. Wakulima wengi waka afford mbolea. Mungu naye akatupatia baraka ya mvua, bei ya unga ikashuka. Wale watu walikuwa wanavaa sufuria Nairobi wakisema bei ya unga, these days hawaongei na hawasemi ya kwamba unga ilishuka. So that is the work the president and the government has been doing for 2 years. Sasa ile kazi ambayo imebaki ni kazi sasa ya kuweka mikakati ya kuleta pesa kwa mfuko wa mwananchi. And I want to demonstrate to you the programs that are ongoing now, based on what we had agreed with the counties in the economic forums, economic charters. What is government doing as we speak to increase money in the pockets of the Kenyan citizen and create incomes at household level? Jambo la kwanza, hata kama tumesema ya kwamba uchumi uko dhabiti, we are keeping an eye at all the factors that influence macroeconomic stability. Because if interest rates starts going up again, if the shilling starts weakening again, if the price of unga and foodstuffs start going up again, if the price of essential commodities start going up again, we will go back to square one. So the National Treasury and the team, the economic sector of government, is under strict instructions to make sure that all the interventions necessary are made to make sure that we don't reverse the economic indicators of macroeconomic stability. That is the first issue. Ndio bei zisianze kurudi tena kushoot through the roof. Jambo la pili, serikali sasa inatumia pesa ya umma ama kodi kuwekeza katika sekta ambazo watu wengi wa taifa la Kenya wanatoa riziki yao ya kila siku. We are concentrating in funding sectors of the economy where the majority of the people of Kenya derive their daily bread from. These are sectors in agriculture, livestock, including dairy, fisheries for the coastal and western counties, and mining for some of the places with minerals. Those sectors is where we are concentrating in putting money. That's why you've seen we have produced more tea last year than before. The figures speak for themselves. 2022, total earnings from the tea sector, 161 billion. 2023, 181. 2024, 210. Okay? Sio muujiza, interventions to promote earnings, subsidized fertilizer, changing the governance and the legislation around tea to ensure that cartels and other people don't come in between the farmer and their earnings. The same for coffee. Coffee, 2022 season, 2022-2023 season, was selling at $188 per 50 kilogram bag. That is in 2022-2023 season. 2023-2024, it rose to $225 per 50 kilogram bag. 2024-2025, this season, the selling rate now is about $319 per 50 kilogram bag. Coffee in 2022 was earning the farmer an average of 60 shillings per kilogram of cherry. In 2023, it rose from 60 shillings to an average of 71. In 2024, it rose from 71 to 100 shillings or thereabout. Inapanda ama inashuka? Si mkulima anapata pesa zaidi? So those interventions are all over. I just picked tea and coffee. I can talk about very many other value chains in agriculture, including sugar. As you're aware, this year Kenya will not import a single bag of sugar. As you're aware, this year for the first time in many years, Kenya will not import a single bag of maize. So we are working on other value chains that bring money to the pockets of ordinary people across the country. Dairy. I'll just give an example of dairy. 2022-2023, the production, the value of our dairy exports in this region was $4.9 billion. I mean shillings, sorry. 4.9 billion shillings. It rose in the period 2023-24 from 4.9 to 7 billion shillings. I can go on and on and on and on. And therefore, we are making interventions to make dairy more profitable, to make tea farming more profitable, coffee farming more profitable. And the figures for the last 2 years speak for themselves. We are not there yet because we have also to tackle rice, potatoes, wheat, avocado, macadamia, all the nuts. So there is still a lot of work. In fact, on Wednesday, I have called for a technical briefing from all the government agencies involved on these other value chains I have mentioned. From wheat to cotton to rice and all those and avocados, so that we empower farmers, livestock keepers, dairy farmers. We empower them so that they have more returns. When President Ruto took over, the average price of 1 liter of milk was 37 shillings. Today, it is 50 shillings. And we want to take it higher. I can go on and on and on. But the point is that this government is deliberately revitalizing key value chains and in the sectors that help wananchi of Kenya to get income. Because an ordinary Kenyan, where do they get their daily income from? Those who are not employed. They get their income from farming, agriculture, from livestock, whether dairy or beef keeping. They get it from fishing for coastal communities and the communities in Western, or from mining. The majority of the people, about 80%. So that's what we are doing. The third thing that we are doing, because I've talked about macroeconomic stability and revival of the value chains in agriculture, livestock, mining, and fisheries, the third thing we are doing is to provide infrastructure that supports production in those sectors. Because those sectors, if you want tea farmers, coffee farmers, rice farmers, dairy farmers, livestock, beef farmers, if you want them to get more returns, you must provide them with the support infrastructure that helps them produce more and therefore get more. What is the support infrastructure? Roads, isn't it? Electricity, ICT connectivity because of e-commerce of our traders, isn't it? It is roads, it is electricity, ICT. It is also infrastructure around markets, the markets we are building all over the country, so that farmers can have dignified places where traders can come and do commerce, not from the roadside, but from a well-organized place with refrigerators, cold rooms, and good places where even people can come from far and wide and do good business. So it is in roads, it is in power, it is in ICT connectivity, it is in the ESP, the Economic Stimulus Program markets, but also KIPES, the County Aggregation and Industrial Parks. We are building one per county. Ya Kiambu iko pale Githunguri. Kweli ama urongo? It is under construction, it is not ready. We are going to talk about it in a short while. It's 25% complete. National government has released 116 million. We still owe another 133.4 million, which we are releasing this month. And the county government must also now release their part, because the total cost is 500 million, so that we support them to have that KIPE operational. That county aggregation and industrial park is the first step towards having a manufacturing capacity for Kiambu County and all the counties of Kenya, because that is the place for aggregating products, value addition, sorting them out, packaging them, and then doing a route to market process to make sure that we go to the next level in our quest to be a manufacturing country. So we are providing the support infrastructure to help agriculture prosper. Markets, roads, ICT apps, and KIPES, and all the other things that I've already mentioned about. In Kiambu, for example, we are building many markets from Limuru, DCC place there. No, that's the housing program. But we have markets in Gewa, we have markets, there are 29 markets all over. There are too many. From Goingwa in Thika to Gekambura in Kikuyu, all of them, 29 markets. And therefore you'll be seeing me a lot coming to inspect progress of where those markets have reached. And again, that is part of the work of the Deputy President. Nema kana tima. Sio ndio kazi ya naibu wa rais? Kwa sababu tunataka by the time rais akuje kucommission, we must make sure that project is complete and operational. Na pesa yote imetolewa, imejengwa, imekamilika, ndio rais asikuja kuangalia kitu, alafu pesa inakosekana, haikamiliki, alafu watu wanaanza kuongea mambo ya kejeli. So the work of the Deputy President is to backstop the President and run around, make sure that everything is okay. Sasa soko ikikamilika na ikuwe tayari, mimi naenda naita boss anakuja nafungua. Si namna hiyo? So we'll inspect those markets, we'll inspect the housing program, which is another very consequential program we are carrying out. Because the housing programs gives dignified dwellings to our people. The housing program is creating short-term jobs for architects, electricians, plumbers, masons, carpenters, to the next 2-3 years at least, 4 years. As long as we have these projects, they have somewhere to earn a living from. And we are creating both long-term and short-term jobs, because a job is a job. Kazi ni kazi. Ule ako na bahati kupata PNP job, that's okay. If you get a short-term job, it's better than staying idle. Ama namna gani? Kwa hivyo, we'll also be inspecting, there are so many affordable housing projects from Roiro to Thika to Limuru to everywhere. Again, iko na list, kama naibu wa rais, nimeweka list. Kuna zingine 29%, ingine 52%, ingine 2%. Mimi nakuja kuangalia hizo miradi, ndio iendelee haraka, ikikamilika rais anakuja kufungua. Other than that, we are also very, very committed for the next 2.5 years to job creation, because many of our young people do not have job opportunities. So we are attacking the job, the unemployment, and lack of opportunity problem from all sides. We are creating jobs within the economy. How? We are still employing in the public service when vacancies arise, including police, teachers. Already 76,000 teachers have been employed in the last 2 years, the highest by any government in 2 years. There is no single government since independence that has employed 76,000 teachers in 2 years. Our manifesto target, now that we are tracking the target, was that we will employ 116,000 teachers in 5 years. In 2 years, we have done 76. What will prevent us from even overshooting the target? Nothing. Yeah? And even over and above the 116, because we have many other, almost 300,000 teachers who are unemployed. We are trying to get them jobs abroad. We absorb some here. Those we can't absorb here and they get jobs abroad, they should not be vilified. They should go and work wherever the job is, earn some income, save, invest at home, and whenever they want to come back, they are welcome to come back home. So we are creating jobs also in the private sector here through the programs in the MSMEs. I'll just give one project which we are about to start this month. There's a project called Nyota. Nyota is a National Youth Opportunities Transformation Program, or something of that kind. It's agenda. A is for agenda. I have some Gen Z members of parliament here, they know what Nyota stands for. So Nyota is a program where we are giving credit to small businesses, 50,000 shillings. 50,000 shillings to small businesses. In every ward, we will pick a number of businesses in every ward across Kenya and give them startup capital of 50,000 shillings. We are starting at the end of this month, and I don't know these characters who are talking what they will start doing, because we will now, tutakuwa tunaenda live, kupeana hizo pesa across the country, and to make sure that we incubate and nurture new businesses, micro and small businesses, to be able to spur economic growth. Because if you add the people that are in agriculture, livestock, mining and fisheries, plus those in the micro and small businesses, 95% of Kenya is already taken care of. True or false? That's a Kiambu, of course. So we are empowering businesses to create jobs, because if a job expands, a small business, somebody is running a carpentry workshop, or is selling some milk selling business, we give them a bit of support, they'll employ 2 more people or 3 people, isn't it? So that's how we are attacking job creation, public sector and private sector here. But where we find that the opportunities are still not enough, we are also creating online jobs. That's why we are building 1,450 ICT hubs, 1 per ward. You have seen some Jitume labs, which now we want to expand. Those are places where young people, instead of staying idle in the marketplace, waiting for a politician to give them 100 shillings to go and heckle their opponent, they go to the lab, wanaingia kwa mtandao, and there are jobs there as content creators, as forex traders, as web designers, as there are many things there. Kuna kazi nyingi hapo za content creation and ICT. There is also what we call business process outsourcing, where many countries abroad do not want to spend money hiring people. Instead, big corporations, they are hiring workers from abroad. India, for example, today is the biggest business process of outsourcing destination, where you call a company in America, you are in America, but the person who picks the call is not in America, is in Nairobi, Kiambu, with Orai, and speaks good English. And then that way, you paid online, and then those companies don't have to do the many things that are required when you have physical people working for your company. So there's a lot of digital jobs. So kuna kazi kwa ground, hiyo nimeeleza, kazi kwa ground, public service, private sector. Hata hiyo mijengo ya affordable housing ni kazi kwa ground. Climate works, hii mmeona tumeanza Nairobi. We are replicating it in 47 counties, which is similar to kazi mtaani, but to conserve the environment and help plant trees and clean up cities. So that program also ni kazi kwa ground. Then tuko na kazi mtandaoni, ICT jobs. Alafu ya mwisho kazi majuu. We mean business, my friend. Mimi nimeona vijana wale wameenda Qatar, wengine wanaenda UAE pale. They are so emotional. The experiences we are getting, some of them were doing nothing. They have certificates, but they have no opportunity. Today they are earning 100,000, 70,000. They are sending money home, you know? So whoever is making fun of people because they are working abroad, that person is an enemy of Kenya. Because, I'll tell you why. If a young person can get a job at home, that's the best option. If a young person can get a job online, that's also a good person because they're around. But if there is an opportunity abroad, in today's world, where movement and communication has become easy, it is wrong to prevent such person or to discourage that person from working abroad. Because even here locally, I know people who were born in Turkana and they work in Mombasa. Have they stopped being Turkanas? They go home only once a year. Sometimes once every 2 years because they work at the port in Mombasa, isn't it? So the person in Dubai, it's only 5 hours. The fellow in Mombasa going to Turkana, and another one is in Dubai, who will get faster. If he is going to Nyeri, he'll get to Nyeri faster than the person who is in Mombasa. Because it's only 4.5 hours, 5 hours from Dubai to here. By the time huyo mtu akalie gari kutoka Kilinidi, hata hajafika Nairobi, mtu ya Dubai ameshafika. Na ametangulia kwenda up country. So, tusiwe na hii kuangalia, wherever a young person can get a job. And please, the correct terminology of the Kazi Maju program is labor mobility, not labor migration. Because migration looks like an export. We are not exporting anybody. They are still Kenyans. Tunawaambia ukipata kazi pale enda, fanya, invest, hapa nyumbani, tuma ingine nyumbani. Ukikaa 5-6 years, na invest ya kutosha, umefungua hardware, come back to Githurai and run your hardware. So that job creation, therefore, is a major empowerment program that we are running. And I've given you some of the projects and programs that we aim at creating jobs through. Other than that, 2 last things which we are doing to improve household incomes. One is, and those 2 are in the social sector. The 5 that I've mentioned are in the economic sector. Macroeconomic stability, value chains in agriculture, livestock, mining and fisheries, support infrastructure like KIBs, special economic zones and roads and energy, job creation, all those are economic factors, and the housing program, 5. But there are 2 social sector interventions that this government is taking very seriously. One of them is universal health. For us to transform the economy of Kenya, the people of Kenya must be healthy workers. Many families have lost their entire wealth because of medical bills. True or false? Many middle-class people, including leaders, MCAs, members of parliament, aspirants, you know, bankers, teachers, professionals. They spent a lot of money funding Harambes, medical Harambes for their relatives and family members, isn't it? So this government is saying that we need every citizen of Kenya to have a medical cover. Ndio tupunguze the out-of-pocket expenses for families, and therefore the disposable income will go up once you save on out-of-pocket expenditure on health. Watu wengi wanafikiri hii mambo ya health ni rahisi. Sio rahisi, ni ngumu. It's very difficult. Even developed countries, they tried universal health care and there's a lot of resistance, just like we are having resistance here. America, they had Obamacare, Supreme Court ilikatakata ikabaki nusu. President Kibaki alijaribu universal health care when Charity Ngilu was minister, ikapigwa siasa kama hii ya saa hii, mzee Kibaki akawachana nayo. President Uhuru in his second term alikuwa na big four agenda. Moja ilikuwa housing, ile nyingine ilikuwa nini? Universal health, si ndio? Again siasa ikakuja akawachana nayo. I remember that time I was in the leadership of Senate. So tulijaribu kusaidia ndio tutetee hii kitu ya universal health cover, hii mambo ya medical. So Rais Uhuru akatuita, deputy yake alikuwa hapo, President Ruto saa hii alikuwa deputy siku hiyo, and a few leaders wa bunge. And then when the report came that people don't understand this mambo ya health insurance and they are opposed to it, I remember President Uhuru turned to his deputy akamuuliza, sasa wewe William, si wewe uko na nyumba? Si mimi niko na nyumba. Akatuuliza, nyinyi mko na nyumba? Sasa kama mtu uko na nyumba, hii kitu inatusumbua, kwa nini tuachane nayo kama watu wamekataa? But you see, with the benefit of hindsight, I really hope we had proceeded with universal care in 2018, because today almost 40 million Kenyans will be under the medical cover. We did not succeed that time, but this time round, trust you me, we'll succeed. Yes. Because NHIF had only 9 million people covered all these years. 9 million. Today, in 4 months, since we started in October, pigieni Kimani Ichung'wah makofi. And for the avoidance of doubt, kiongozi wa walio wengi zaidi. He's not only the leader of majority, but he's the leader of the broad-based majority. Now, NHIF had covered only 9 million people for all these years. Right now, for 4 months, we are at 18, 19 million. The aim is by 2027, we'll push that number to 30, 40 million. As we try to improve how SHA and Taifa Care works. And therefore, again, part of my work as the principal assistant of the president is to unlock the bottlenecks for government programs. So hii Monday nimeita magavana wote wa Kenya na Ministry of Health na watu ya mahospitali, public and private hospitals, watakuwa hapa kwa hema ndio tulainishe mambo ya Taifa Care. So, other than that, of course, education reforms. We are very keen in streamlining education to make it affordable, accessible, and of high quality and also relevant. The work we are doing on CBC, the work we are doing in the funding of higher education is to make sure that as many children of Kenya as possible are able to access education. There are a few issues which we are streamlining again, but the funding model in its best format will bring equity in higher education. Because hakuna haja mtoto ya mbunge ama mtoto ya deputy president amesomea sijui shule ingine hapo, private school, academy, paka form 4, private school. Huyu mbunge ama deputy president ama minister ama another businessman who has money is paying 300,000 per term, 500,000 per term, isn't it? Even 600 per term, 1 million per term. Alafu akiitwa university, na huyo mtoto ametoka St. Andrews Turi, akiitwa University of Nairobi, unataka apewe basari ile inapewa watoto wa Marsabit wale wanasoma huku wakikwepa risasi ya magaidi. Children who are learning under a tree as they try to dodge bullets from bandits. Na mwingine amesomea hapa academy. So why doesn't my child, why should I not pay the full fees? Hata kama ni 1 million. Is there any reason? That's what we are trying to correct. So that the resources we are using in education, we now support those who really cannot afford. So we are, tuko na agenda. President Ruto has an agenda, is clear. These are the commitments he made. These are the things we signed to. Ukiangalia hiyo teachers, 116,000 teachers in 5 years, iko kwa manifesto. Ukiangalia mambo ya majani chai, nimewaambia, iko kwa manifesto. Increasing earnings, coffee, rice, sugar, all these things are in the manifesto. But I've told you, the first 2 years were to stabilize the economy generally. And therefore, the remaining 2.5 years will help us make a lot of progress. Mwisho. What this government is trying to do is what is known as transformation. Transformation of society. Transformation is not an easy job. Transformation encounters resistance. Because the reason why we have so many people at the bottom of the pyramid who cannot afford a meal is because of certain entrenched structures in society, which transformation is trying to disrupt. Okay? So that instead of having only 9 million Kenyans with medical insurance, you have 55 million Kenyans with insurance. You will disrupt some people there who are making money in the health sector. So you expect that resistance. But you know what, friends, brothers and sisters? Costly as it is, transformation eventually brings prosperity and brings honor and dignity to the leaders that bear the brunt of opposition to transform their societies. Kenya tumekaa hapa miaka mingi tunasema sijui vile Singapore ilikuwa sijui ilikuwa wapi 1963 na South Korea. What transformed Singapore is the housing program. Today 99% of citizens of Singapore are own owners. They are homeowners. So when UN is doing what we call Human Development Index, since everybody has a dignified house, the Human Development Index it shoots. It even surpasses the United States. That's the work we are doing in Kibra. That is the work we are doing in Mukuru. The fellows we had to remove for their safety from the river, our people who are being carried by flood water along Nairobi River. 40,000 people. I'm the one who removed them. One night, we lost about 120 people. Some of them whole families. Whole families. A person, the spouse, and all 5-6 children swept by the river because they are living on a Karatasi house just on the riverbank. When the floods came, At the middle of the night, they are all asleep and there is no room for maneuver. They were all swept. So, as the Minister for Interior, I had to make a decision. And the President supported me. We removed them. But we are saying, those people who are paying 2,000, 3,000 in a Mabati or Mbao house in Nairobi River Bank, they will be given priority in the 14,000 plus units we are creating in Kibra and in Mukuru. In fact, between Kibra and Mikuru, we are creating nearly 30,000 units as we speak. Phase 1 is ready. There is phase 2 and phase 3. You go there, you get a studio house. That studio house or 1 bedroom, you will still pay 3,000. This 3,000 is not rent. Remember, you were paying 3,000 as rent in a Makaratasi house, which is not yours. This one is your house. The 3,000 is to help you buy the house over time. Na nyumba iko na stima, iko na maji, ni nyumba secure, iko na Wi-Fi. Rather than putting yourself and your 6 children in a shack on the riverbank with the risk of being carried away by the water at night. So transformation is painful. Like when we were removing those families, it was not easy. It was a very difficult decision. But for their safety, we had to stay firm. A few people tried to politicize the matter, and we stood firm. There are people even who wanted to go and incite the public there. Tuliwaambia jaribu. Alienda hapa downtown kidogo alafu akarudi. Hawakufika kwa mto. Wangefika kwa mto ningeweka tear gas. Because it's not fun. Sio mchezo. It's not, who is comfortable removing people from where they are? But for their safety, just like the people we evacuated from the gorges in the Rift Valley, so that we can strike the bandits. So we had to do an operation like that up in Nairobi River. I'm very proud today. That corridor now is very clean. Imesafishwa. Niliona waziri alikuwa hapo the other day. We are now rehabilitating it, and we are providing affordable and social housing. The same people who used to live at the river are the ones who will be given priority to enter those houses. So there is a difference between politics and leadership. There is a difference between transformation and populism. President Ruto has said many times, if the transformation of Kenya will cost his popularity, so be it. So be it. As his principal assistant, I also want to make the same statement, that if assisting the president to deliver on the transformative programs I have told you to make Kenya better, if in the process we become unpopular, both of us, so be it. It is not the length of time that a leader stays in office that matters. What matters is the consequences of somebody's leadership, however long or short they have been in office. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Si Moi alitawala miaka 24. Si Kibaki alikuwa miaka 10. Si Uhuru alikuwa miaka 10. Sasa hii ya Ruto amesema he doesn't mind how long he serves. Kuna watu wamekazana, sijui 1 term, 2 terms, 3, that's not the issue. The issue is what he does with the time he has in his hand. Hiyo mambo ingine, sina mna hiyo. Yeah, so watu wasitishe watu hapa, sijui nini, sijui term, sijui nini. Transformation is costly, it is painful. I have told you how we remove people in the Rift Valley, in the gorges, where bandits used to go and hide kwa raia huko with families. So we cannot strike the bandits because they have children, there are women there. So we said every civilian from these spaces must leave 24 hours. Oh, tukaambiwa, oh, you are chasing people, you are displacing people. Today that place is clean. And a few hot-headed bandits waliwachwa pale thinking it's a joke. We just did an operation for 1 weekend. Nasitaki kusema nini litendeka, kwa sababu sijui. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Yes. In Nairobi River the same. Unaweka siasa. Na una option, hauna alternative. So what is the alternative? You want to encourage someone to stay in the river. Their neighbors were carried by the flood last night. You want them to stay there tonight again and be carried away, swept away by floods? No. So, hata hii mambo ya uchumi tutafanya evacuation ingine hapo. We will support the president to deliver. And between us, as the executive, the legislature is very important. That's why you see members of parliament here. That's why you see the leader of majority here. The leader of majority is not just here as the member for Kikuyu. He is here as the leader of the majority. And he is in every meeting, every county, all the 47 counties, Kimani Ichung'wah is there. Kwa sababu huyu ndio mtu ya kusukuma agenda ya serikali kwa bunge, akiwa na the other colleagues. Si namna hiyo? In the process, my brother, you'll become unpopular. Don't worry. Just do the right thing. If you look for popularity, we will not have passed the coffee bill, the tea bill, and all these the sugar bill, because cartels wako hapa katikati wanataka continue benefiting. Na unajua it took a lot of efforts. You remember the president saying mambo ni matatu, wale watu ya sukari. So hii mambo ni matatu kwa majani chai, mambo ni matatu kwa rice, mambo ni matatu kwa kila mahali, paka hii Kenya nyoroke. So we are wired, we are okay. We lost some time because of internal incoherence. Now we are coherent. We don't mind what the opposition is doing because that is their work. They can oppose us when they're outside. What we cannot have is internal quarrels among ourselves. Sinamna hiyo? Sasa agenda ndio hiyo, and Kiambu is at the center of this administration. You know Kiambu gave President Ruto the highest number of votes from a single county. True or false? So why should President Ruto take lightly the development agenda of Kiambu? So mimi nataka nikomee hapo na niwashukuru na niwaambie we've just started. Those who are panicking have not seen anything. Hii ni mambo kidogo, hatujaanza kazi. Tumegurumisha tu gari na kupiga resi. Alafu watu wanatetemeka. Sijui watu wengi wameitwa. Hao ni si wengi because the next review. Because at the end of this year, I will give an accountability of how many new kilometers of road we have built, how many more last mile connections we've made, how many markets are complete, is the Kiambu Kipe complete, how many, isn't it? Yeah. So the next evaluation hatutaifanyia hapa Kindiki Stadium. Ndio tuketi namna hii watu 20,000 tuambiane maneno. Mtu anapanikiwa hii ni kidogo. This is just hii ni mwanzo. Mambo bado. Number 2. Kuna watu nimesikia wanaongea na kiburi mingi sana. Hii dunia mimi nimekaa sasa kiasi. Sio sana lakini nimekaa. Na pia nimekuwa kwa uongozi sio sana lakini kidogo. Hii dunia ni ya Mwenyezi Mungu, sio ya mtu. And nobody owns the people. Watu ni wanani? Adone agai. Nego kana teguo. Hakuna mtu ameumba mtu. Hata wale watoto wako. Unasikia mzee anasema watoto wangu. Ni kweli ni wako, lakini kazi yako ilikuwa kidogo sana hapo. Hata hujui nini ilitokea. Kazi yako ilikuwa dakika kidogo hapo na mnayuka. Si kweli? Hiyo kazi nyingine ni ya Mungu. Si kweli? Hata mama, hata wewe mama, mtu wako huko kwa mwili yako miezi 9 umuoni, hiyo ni kazi yako ama ni kazi ya Mungu? Yeah. So nimeona watu wanaongea na kiburi mingi, sijui nini. My friend. Sasa hii siasa si wakati itafika? Si tunafanya kazi kwanza? Si tulisema kazi kwanza? Siasa baadaye? Siasa kwanza, kazi kwanza, siasa baadaye. Sasa hii siasa tutavurugana mpaka tuelewane. Baya sana my friend. Anaona mtu anadharau watu wengine, sijui wanaongea na kiburi mingi. So mimi nataka mniliulize baada ya hii miaka miwili. See, I have said, God willing, I'll do annual review this year, at the end of first year, at the end of my second year in office. Nataka mniulize nyinyi mkiwa watu ya Kiambu. Wewe umekuwa deputy president 2 years now. Tell us, ni agenda gani ya Kiambu umesukuma? Si namna hiyo? Mambo ya maziwa, mambo ya majani chai, mambo ya kahawa. Yeah. Wale wengine nao wanapigana na sisi, waambiwe nao hata nyinyi mlikuwa na wakati. Ni agenda gani ya Kiambu ulisukuma mbele? Si namna hiyo? Ama namna gani? Si kila mtu amekuwa na nafasi? Kila mtu isipokuwa Wajakoya. Huyo ndio huyo hajakuwa na nafasi. Lakini ametuambia mambo yake ni bangi na sijui vitu vingine hapo ya fisi. Hiyo ndio manifesto. Lakini hao wengine sijui nani, ule mtu ya Wiper, si alikuwa vice president? Mwaka ngapi? With a very good president. He was the vice president of President Kibaki. A gentleman, self-assured, he is never insecure. That friend of ours did nothing for Central, for Nyanza, for... Si wacha ni name zile zingine ndio. Tutamalizia Sekuru. Si ni kweli? Miaka ngapi? Vice president. Yeye ndiye alikuwa wa kwanza kuingia ofisi hii miezi michache before William Ruto came here. Yeah. So tutashindana na kazi. Sio matusi, sio sijui nini. Na tuliambia hao watu zamani. Tuliwaambia wachaneni na viongozi. Wachana na wabunge, wachana na MCAs. Wachana na viongozi, hata kama ni wadogo wako, ni viongozi wamechaguliwa. Wacha kuvuruga viongozi. Hata kama kiongozi amekuwa unpopular, wacha raia wa msoto huko mbele. Wewe heshimu yule kiongozi. Wakafikiri ni mchezo. Walivurugwa, kuvurugwa hata yani mpaka mbunge wa kwako. So mimi nawashukuru sana. Mimi nimetaja mtu? Niongea mambo ya mtu? Si nimesema tufanye maendeleo? Na kazi iongee. Si unaona hii kazi yangu limeanza? Si nimewaambia every year mniuliza maswali? Ile mambo ya Kiambu nimetetea. Na ile mambo nimepelekea rais ndio iharakishwe. So that is what will distinguish us. Na watu waache threats, tuheshimiane. Nilisema ile siku ingine, sisi zote tuheshimiane. Kama wewe unafikiri wewe ni maarufu, ngojea siku hiyo. Sawa sawa? Ndio utajua kuna wanaume hii town. Unaongea mapema na threats mingi. Threats upon threats. Kiona hiyo reli, usidharau. Ndio inabeba gari ya moshi. Usidharau wembamba wa ndio inabeba nini? SGR. Kweli si kweli? So kwa hayo mengi na machache, na washukuru. That is why I called you. This is how we are going to proceed. We are going to take 15 minutes break. Every constituency, hii compound ni kubwa, every constituency isimame one place. Si tuko 12 constituencies. Na mniambie, nimetaja, I know I know most of the barabara zetu pale Kiambu imekwama because of pending bills. Si ni kweli? Yes. Niko na list. I know the ones that have stalled because of pending bills. I have good news for you. Tuko na pesa ya kukwamua hizo barabara. So mwenye alikuwa anatutegea pale kwa barabara atafute kitu ingine. Mungu amekuwa mwaminifu, uchumi umeimarika, ile ilikuwa na shida, sasa tuko na pesa ya kukwamua stalled projects. Pia tumepata pesa ya stima. We have enough money for last mile connectivity. Sina namna hiyo. Tufanye barabara, tufanye last mile ya stima, tufanye ICT hubs, tufanye markets, tufanye housing projects, tufanye KAIP, tufanye. Sasa sio ikabaki ni siasa peke yake. But so every county ituambie 3 priorities. 3. Maybe a road project, a water project or something, I don't know. 3 key priorities. So you have 15 minutes. Every constituency ifanye caucus. Turudi after 15 minutes tufanye plenary fupi. Tukirudi kila constituency itoe mtu mmoja, na ikiwezekana asikuwe ni MP, awe mtu mwingine hapo, one of us, so that we can participate, many of us. So but MPs you can guide or suggest, ule atakuja na asiwe ni mtu anapiga viongozi wale wako kwa kiti. A neutral person, ule taki vita hapa, is not a political meeting. So kila constituency mtu anasimama hapa na kabila anasema sisi kama Lari barabara yetu ile muhimu inaitwa na alafu kuna number 2, number 3. Si namna hiyo? The next constituency after that tufanye resolutions, tukubaliane hao mambo nimesema na yale mmesema are the priorities. Then the leaders, elected leaders ambao wako hapa, kila mtu introduce watu ya constituency wake wasimame, ndio tujue kama Kiambu yote iko hapa ama kuna watu wameachwa nyuma. Alafu kila kiongozi pia aseme one word, no politics. No politics. We are not here to decide who becomes MP or governor or MCA. Ni mambo ya maendeleo. So 1 minute to 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Alafu leader of majority ndiye atatufungia mkutano. Si namna hiyo? Tukimaliza tuende nyumbani, lakini nimesema msiwe na haraka kutoka, mkaekae area. Iko nyasi hapa, iko chakula, iko chai, iko mchukue selfie na jenzi, kwa sababu nimeona jenzi hapa kidogo, iko swimming pool hapa, mnaweza swim. When I been of that opinion say aye. Contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. It's 3 o'clock. We take a break. We come back at 3:15. Asante. God bless you. We come back at 3:15. Okay.